Hello. All right, let us give them more time. Maybe they're not quite ready. I just wanted them to start from the top because there's nothing for me to add to what they're saying. But we are here waiting for them to whenever they're ready, should come up on board. This is Radio Biafra USA 2. We are broadcasting live from New York, and we are hosting the Australians today. Let's see. I think they are ready. Let me check them one more time. Join the call. All right, are you ready now, guys?
We are ready. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you right now.
Yeah, because we are saying we are ready. We are ready. Okay, thank you.
All right.
Good evening, Biafrans and friends of Biafra. My name is Mazi Iyke, the former. As always, I'm here with the members of IPOB family here in Australia. Like always, we call upon the name of Chukwu Kabiama because this Radio Biafra belongs to him. Eze Chukwu Kabiama, ekekere n'igwe na anya bi n'eluigwe, were n'ụwa mere mgbakwasị ụkwụ, akpọkọ oge ụbọchị eke ụbọchị orie ụbọchị afọ ụbọchị nkwọ, wee na-akpọkọ ezi onye nwe nekwa n'isi gbuo odibo gị bụ Maazị Nnamdi Kanu, n'isi gbuo odibo gị ndị niile ndị nọ n'ụlọ mkpọrọ ma ndị na-agba mbọ maka na eze gị bịa n'elu ụwa nke a. Anyị na-ayọ gị mekwanụ kọl na twita anyị na-eme ka ọ mịta ajọ mkpụrụ maka Biafra anyị na-achọkwana ọ dịghị ndị ga-enwetara anyị nwa ite enyemaka gị wit grace gị ka anyị eji nweta na eze gị a n'elu ụwa nke a, ebe anyị ga-anọfe gị ofufe n'ime mmụọ na eziokwu. Ezi onye nwe nna Chineke, nekwanụ ndị na-emekpa ụmụ gị ahụ, nekwanụ ụmụ gị ndị na-achụ ndị na-eme na anyị gara ana obodo na-agba mbọ na-eme ihe niile dị pọsịbụl ka anyị ghara ịna anyị na-asị ezi onye nwe nna Chineke ka ihe mgbu agaghị akwụsị so ndị agha ka ndị iro obodo ahụ na-esebe ha ọgụ ka nsogbu zuo ha ahụ ụtụtụ ehihie abalị ụbọchị eke ụbọchị orie ụbọchị afọ ụbọchị nkwọ ga-abụrụ ha ihe ike ga na-eme ha n'ime ndụ ha. Ọ bụ mmadụ nkịtị ofu ihe ahụ ezi onye nwe maka ndị niile a na-agba mbọ ka na eze gị gara ịbịa, ndị niile a na-agba mbọ ka anyị ghara inwere onwe anyị wee na-ayọ gị. Anyị ma n'oge nke gị kacha mma, onye ka anyị ji ayọ gị n'ụbọchị tata meziere anyị ebere na ogbugbe na-egbu ụmụ gị akarịkwana mekwanụ ndị niile na-akọ ọsụ nsogbu na anaba anyị na-asị gị chụbakwana ha, ekwekwana ka ha ṅụrụ mmiri tọrọ iko anọ ihe ike na-eme ha n'ụbọchị ndụ ha niile. Mekwana aka ji Maazị Nnamdi Kanu ọjisikwa n'aka niile ahụ, mekwana ezinụlọ ha esichakwana ha niile, mekwana ndị niile na-agbawusi ụmụ gị ọ dịghị ihe ha mere, mekwana ezinụlọ ndị ahụ esikwa otu gbapụkwa ezinụlọ ndị ahụ ma ndị na-ele ụmụ gị esi otu a lekwa ha lee ezinụlọ nke ha. Ndị ọla na-emeju ụmụ gị na-agba mbọ ka anyị wee nwere onwe anyị, ndị iro were aga na-atụ ha aka, ụmụnne wee na-ele ha na-atụ ha aka, anyị na-asị ka aka niile ahụ gbajisichakwa ihe ike mebe ya oge ruo n'oge ihe ike ya na-eme ndị na-ele ụmụ gị maka anyị ya na-anụ ọgụ ka anyị nwere onwe anyị, ha na-anọ ka ha megide anyị. Ngụnwa bụ Chukwu Okabiama ya agbachizikwana nkịtị ọ bụ oge ya gbusichala ụmụ gị ka ezi ndị ga-anọ ọgụ a. Otu anyị si wee ya n'ụbọchị nke taata, anyị bụkwanụ nwata anyị na-asa ahụ n'afọ anyị mara ya nabatakwana, anyị amakwana ya nabatakwana ekpere anyị ihe anyị na-emekwana mba anyị na-agbakwana ụgwụ ka ọ dị mma ka ọ dịrị onye ihu mma dịrị onye azụ mma. Anyị si egbebere ugobere nke si ibe ebekwana ka nkwukwakwa ya. Ihe anyị ka anyị na-achọ, anyị aha achọ nke onye ọzọ. Anyị ji oge, anyị ji ọfọ, ọ dịghị ihe anyị mere ndị a. Anyị agbaa n'odibo over 500 years anyị na-aha sị na anyị enyere ana ka anyị na-agafe ego asị mba hapụkwana anyị ka anyị mee ihe anyị chọrọ ime, ha asị mba. Ha sị na ụmụ gị agara eto ogologo, ha sịkwa na ụmụ gị agara azụ mmụmụ. Anyị wee na-asị nyụọla anyị ọgụ a sọsọ nga bụ ihe anyị ji. Mekwanụ 30th of May na-abịakwanụ, mekwanụ ka ọ bụrụ ihe ga-enwe ihe ka ọ daa ụda maka ụbọchị anyị ji echeta ụmụ gị ndị niile egburu welute n'ụbọchị nke tata. Otu anyị si yọọ, anyị sịkwa otu a nwekwa ntụkwasị obi na ị ga-aza anyị ekpere n'ụbọchị nke taata wee na-asị ise ise ise. Yeah, Biafrans, first of all, I want to continue. Just want to talk about the tweet campaign. It's a task that we must keep on carrying out. Tweeting and the phone call, we must. It's a daily task. We say we are more than 50 million. Our target is to get more than 10 million, over 10 million to participate. Because this is a Biafran restoration. It's a project it's a mass project. Nobody will restore Biafra for you on your behalf. It's a collective effort. That means everyone will participate. And everyone participate is in this way. See this way. People that are having a picnic and they say everyone bring a plate to share. Bring a plate to share means you bring something, I bring something, we gather, we share among ourselves, we eat. That is exactly the Biafran Restoration Project, the way it is. It's effort that everybody has to chip in, play your own part, participate and do what is needful. And then we keep on moving forward until we restore this Biafra. Upon saying the restoration of Biafra, our people, we have been advertising, IPOB has been encouraging our people to move back home. It's very, very important that we move back home and build our region. Because the things that happening to our people, or the Lagos state government and the others are doing to our people, is beyond imaginable. Demolishing their hard-earned money they make and build this mansion and the residence, saying that it's illegal. But they have a CFO. They went and registered it in local government and they bought the land and it's all approved. Then government come back and then knock it down. This is why we said it's a zoo. And I will use this as an example. Let's assume we are in Biafra now. We already have a Biafra. And that your house is in Lagos. And it's one of those that are demolishing now. The Biafran government, we ask whichever, whatever their name, that nation, if it was Ududuwa, if it is Nigeria, we ask them, this is the investment of my citizens and it's been destroyed by your government. And they have to pay them compensation. This is the benefit. But as long as we still remain in that zoo called Nigeria, they will carry out all manners of evil with impunity. You will not get dime as a compensation. Register this in your score. The only time, so in a simple layman term, the only time that your investment outside Biafra will be protected is if Biafra is restored. Those your investment is protected because you invested in another country. And if they took that your investment, you go to foreign affairs and report the matter. And it becomes a government to government. Just like our people that invested in Dubai, UK, America, Australia, New Zealand, Germany, Netherlands, name it, all over the world, South Africa. They invested in a foreign country, and nothing will happen to those investments. The same thing. But as long as we are in that country, the investment is not guaranteed. It can be destroyed at any given time, and nobody will do nothing. Nothing. I repeat, nobody will do nothing, and they will get away with it. This is a fight we must keep on fighting, that that no given time we will consider getting tired. We are just warming up. We haven't touched the surface. We need to keep on pushing every day. Every day you wake up, you think, what I'm going to do to advance the Biafran restoration. Pick up one thing every day and do it. Mazi Peter, there is a voice, there is audio coming out from your end. Yeah, every day you wake up, you ask what I am going to do to help for the advance of Biafra. Because if Biafra is not restored, every day we are prolonging it. We are being killed, we are being massacred, and nobody is speaking. And true, nobody will ever speak. Because we ignored what we're supposed to do. And chasing rat. Look at what this Hope Uzodinma is doing in Imo State. I will encourage our people. Let's bring out all the atrocities that happened in Imo State. That this man, Hopeless Uzodinma, caused killing, destruction of properties. We needed the list of it. We need it to be floating on the internet so that the whole world will see the atrocity this man committed. Time for everyone to speak is now. We cannot mute for evil to keep on happening in our land. I know most of the time, the people that are supposed to speak, they cannot speak because they are compromised. Because they have soiled their hand in one thing or the other. And this is what we must to keep on pushing. Hope Uzodinma. We must keep on every day. Everyone provide information of the killings, that how many souls this man has destroyed, because he's an vampire. He lived by the sucking of his own people's blood. He has decimated Imo State. He has killed hundreds and hundreds, thousands and thousands of young men and women. Before he came to power, Imo State was as peaceful as anything. Roger Korosha was governor of Imo State. Despite all the atrocity that he committed, Roger Korosha never killed one single IPOB. This man took over and started bombing. Former militia, Ebubago, terrorizing one community to the other, burning people's property, destroying, causing havoc. And we say we have elders in the land. And I don't even want to go this part. Oh, they have religious people, clergy. But the same evil man, the killer of his own people, goes to church. And those, whether it's a bishop or pastor, they still receive the killer in his congregation and allow him to sit down. Time has come when we should come out openly and reject those that are causing havoc in our land. Recently, we just heard that Ohaneze appointed a new Ohaneze general, which is Chief Iwanyanwu, Emmanuel Iwanyanwu. And like always, he has to follow the pattern of his predecessors. From Chief Nnayanwodo, we remember vividly what he said when he took over 2016. That was when Mazi Iyke was still in DSS. And he used IPOB to shine. And then when we meet, and later on, he became the biggest seller. And they connive and then tag IPOB a terrorist. And then before the Nigerian government put a final stamp on it. Obi also took over. He used IPOB to shine. And then he didn't complete his mission. He left and moved on. Now Iwanyanwu has stepped in. And the same thing, he want to use IPOB to shine. We in IPOB want to be proved wrong. Because you need to look at, when you see someone, you look at person's history or track record, then you can be able to predict, or you can be able to say vividly what that man is capable of doing. Iwanyanwu is from Imo State. He never for one day condemned the killing, the burning of innocent people's property in Imo State. And now he's Ohaneze general. That's why Biafran, our destiny is in our own hand. It's not in anybody. You don't look up to anybody for your redemption. Our redemption is in our collective effort to get this Biafra restored. And we come out of this nonsense that is eating us, this monster, this bloodsucker called Nigeria that is killing us every day. Before the white men came, we were living in peace. Our land is as peaceful as it can be. We have no police station. We have no police force. We don't steal. Our people don't lie. Because those days, the cheer, they don't lie. There is something they caught in their tongue, they don't lie. Any day they lie, they die. And they came and told us that what we are following is evil. That there is something better. And that thing that is better is to destroy us completely. And today in our land, all manners of evil is happening. So, we restoring Biafra and return back the way we were before the white men came. It's the only thing that will preserve our race. If we do nothing and follow this path, all of us will be destroyed and nothing will be left of us. On this note, I will pass a microphone to my colleague. Mazi Iyke, if you are there, you can, back to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mazi Former. Thank you so much. I think I like the introduction you've made regards to Ohaneze and Igbo, the direction we're taking. I'll come back to this in a moment, but the time being, I would like to say good evening to all our audience, indigenous people of Biafra, scattered all around the world, wherever you're joining us from. I would like to acknowledge your presence and thank you for participating in this program at this time. I'd like to also thank Mazi Iyke, always giving us this opportunity every Wednesday night to gather here and share our views on the struggle that we coordinate. Welcome my colleagues as well, making the sacrifice to be up. This night is our night and they're up. It's always it's a sign of commitment and I appreciate this. And dear friends, we come here always to reflect on our experience. Because see, as you know, philosopher, I believe it was Socrates, who said, unreflected life is not worth living. Unreflected life is not worth living. In other words, if we just waking up and repeating our actions, stopping to reflect on the things that we do or the things that are happening around us, then we are not considered to be living. Because part of existence is intentionality, is being intentionally engaging in our life, in the life around us, in what surrounds us, in the events that surround us, whether they are political, economic, social events. We have to be intentionally engaging in these. Otherwise, our life is not worth living. That's what basically this philosopher is saying. It is very important when we take this, when we bring this to our own context. Oftentimes, I personally think that we are not we, but some of us are yet to understand what is different from IPOB and its agenda and those in politics in Nigeria and their agenda. Self-determination that we're championing is considered a political opinion. So there is a huge political component to what we are fighting. Yes, but we are not a political party. That's what people fail to understand. And you see this manifest very clearly before and during the election times when people withdraw from their support of IPOB in their preference of self-determination and freedom over subjugation in Nigeria. They put the whole campaign, they suspend the whole campaign and start campaigning for who will lead them, who will be president, the next governor, and all that. As soon as they fail, as always, they run back to the campaign of, oh, it's Biafra now, we want to be free. That's not how these things work. You have to understand how the principle of self-determination works. Your freedom is priority. It has to come first. Otherwise, you're playing politics. You're playing a game with your life because freedom is life. If you say you're persecuted and you need freedom, it does not matter what is being offered to you. You must be consistently insisting and demanding and requiring that your oppressor let go of your freedom so that you will be free. Because everything else is meaningless without freedom. That's why I wanted to put it out there at the start that we are not a political party. We are championing a political opinion. We are standing and defending democratic rights. The right to self-determination, the right of self-expression, the right to association, the right to be affirmed in your autonomy as individual and collectively as an indigenous people. has a huge political element, but it does not collapse into politics. And we must be careful not to collapse it into that, because that will be extremely self-defeating. It's very important that we understand this, that we are championing self-determination. We are not playing politics. These two things are different. In politics, it's about expediency, which way favors us. That's why tomorrow they are PDP, the next day they are APC. And you are being used as a pawn to win their game. That's expediency. Before Chicha, there is no stand. But in freedom fighting, it's about principle, not expediency. Principle means this is the principle upon which I stand, and I'm not backing off. Even in front of death, even in persecution, such as our leader being in the jail, being detained, despite court findings and rulings, he's still being held extrajudicially. When that is happening, that's a maximum demonstration of someone who based the activity on a principle. That's a clear demonstration of a principle stance. That is also what lacks in politics. And so, those of you that each time election is looming, you abandon IPOB, you stop campaigning about your freedom, and then you meddle into politics. And when you kind of fail, as you always fail, because that's a reason why you will always fail. It's not abominable. It is based on the clear analysis and appreciation of the way Nigeria is structured and the operational principle of Nigeria, if there is anything like that. But the way Nigeria carries itself and its activities within the state called Nigeria, you do not need a prophet to tell you that their hopes cannot be achieved or realized through elections. You will always be disappointed. Your hopes and dreams and aspirations will be realized only when you are free, only when you achieve your freedom. But when you make your freedom a condition upon the results of election which you know are not based on any principles. They are stolen, they are not democratic. The process, there is no integrity in the process of Nigerian elections. Therefore, you cannot jeopardize your freedom for a hopeful outcome of an election. Even when that outcome favors you, it's not a demonstration of standing on a principle, of being guided by principle, by value. So we are not a political party as indigenous people. Because some of you always dabble into the minds of politicians, and that's how they deceive you. You let yourself be used as a pawn. When they want to get to power, they start talking about making references to your own persecution. They start making references to your own suffering. They start using the IPOB persecution in Nigeria, the killing of IPOB in Nigeria, the police brutality. They try to use this as a basis to push for their agenda. They try to use this to argue for inclusion. Let's try to campaign, give more Igbo people inclusion, include us more in the politics. We need more representation in the government. Oh, Igbo people are not represented. Oh, Igbo people this, Igbo people that. Be very careful. We are not playing a politics of inclusion. Indigenous people of Biafra, our argument, what we are asking is not more inclusion in Nigeria. We are asking, in fact, self-determination. These two things are different. Inclusion is political. Self-determination has a political aspect, but it is fundamentally a human right. But inclusion, you can argue it. Oh, well, you have governors, and that's what they will tell you. Oh, well, put your people, if you like, you're not well represented in the government. Why not put somebody to campaign and we'll vote for him? Why not bring out somebody that you guys trust and they campaign, and the whole Nigeria, if he's a good person, we rally behind him and we make him president, and you're this blah 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 blah. They say all these things, and you run into this trap and you start campaigning. Oh, time for Igbo president. Oh, time for this. Oh, it's time for Igbo this. Igbo representation. Oh, Igbo campaign. Igbo anyabia. Oh, it's our turn. All these things. You spend months talking about all these things, while those who hold you to bondage, who held you in Nigeria as slaves, those who determine your future. Because a slave has no freedom. A slave does not own anything, because even himself or herself is owned. In Igbo land, in Nigeria, Igbos, we do not own anything. Forget about we are doing well. Oh, look at, oh, this person did this person in this from this person in Belgium. Look at all what Igbos were built in Lagos. Oh, look at, have you gone to trade fair and see the kind of money Igbos are making? And so what? Even that, you do not have, you're not in control. Even the money you're making, you're not in control. You can lose everything within a second. That's how Nigeria is. That's why our people say, because the moment you forget about, you neglect your freedom, the moment you fail to prioritize your self-determination, then you have endangered not just your wealth, but your life. Because freedom is life. And you have to understand how things work and stop being used in Nigeria, whether you're being used by Igbo politicians or not. We are not playing politics. We are a movement that is championing self-determination of an indigenous people under international law. If you want to do politics, stay away from indigenous people of Biafra, because you are perpetuating our suffering. You are making the road tougher for us. You're dabbling into politics, go into politics, go and do whatever you want to do there. But don't drag the struggle into politics. Do not give even impression that you are doing this in order to represent IPOB the bearer. These two things are different. And for me, I feel like I should speak about these two things tonight, because coming out aftermath of the election, I'm not sure how many people have sat down and reflected. Forget about all these things. I'll go to court, go to court. You can go to court. Oh, we go to court. I will fight until I get what I want. Everybody knows that there's no road. You can't get that thing you want. Yeah, oh, but it's my mandate. They stole it from me. Yeah, but that's how Nigeria works. That's why we are doing what we're doing. Because even the court does not function. Where do you hope to find justice? The court you are hoping to find justice from, they've got them by the essential things. They got control of the court. Yes, I thought, but which way? The way out is not to be hoping in political process, and by that I mean elections, recycling of leaders in Nigeria, because there are Igbo leaders in Nigeria. It's not like you guys don't have representation in government. It's not like there are no representations from the southeast, south, even those representing us. If I can say something like that. To what extent they've tried to protect us and protect our interest. There is no pathway to regional politics or protection of regional interest. At least that has never been demonstrated for so long. We do not have governors, representatives, parliamentary representatives, senators, house of whatever, that we can say this person, that person are consistently and openly, boldly championing the interest of the people of Igbo region or Southeast or even South. When they go there, what do? They look for their own selfish interests. That's why when they're getting there, before they get into power, they try to show sympathy, but that's a fake sympathy. That is not genuine. They manipulate you. You believe, you can't, you sort of think that they are with you, that your plight is also their plight, that they're going to make that priority in their government. What happens when they get into power, whether they be governors in your states or whether they're representing your constituencies? What do? They play their own game. It is selfish. It's based on what can I get more. The politicians understand very well how Nigeria works. That if you can get in, you can get what you want. But the process of getting in is very tough. And for Igbo politicians, they have resolved into finding a way to get in there, even when that means worshipping the Fulanis, worshipping the Yorubas, because it is through their actions and omissions over time that Igbo man today is worth nothing in Nigeria. You can be killed in Lagos. You can be killed in any part of Nigeria. You are worth nothing. You might think, oh, I'm rich. I got this and got that. You're worth nothing. And I'm very sad that our people do not understand how these things work. It doesn't matter how much money you got. If there is no road to your people, if your people are dying, if your people if the dignity of your people is lost, your dignity is also lost. You don't have more dignity in Nigerian context just because you are a weighty individual. Individualism does not achieve the level of regional power and influence that we deserve as Igbo people. Individualistic goals and successes cannot replace the power of regional autonomy, of regional influence. And that's why the North from the beginning understood this. If you read past documents, books, Pure independence, so presses 1960s and immediate past 1960s post-independent documents, you understand the language, and you understand that this language, these statements set precedent. They set what you call precedent for the future. You read statement from Nanda Azikiwe. Nanda Azikiwe is talking about how can we do what we can do. This is our Nigerian, one Nigeria that everybody could benefit from, that everybody would thrive, everybody will see themselves as one. He was a political preacher of one Nigeria. But while he was foolishly, I should say, fighting for one Nigeria where everybody will benefit, in the West, they were busy structuring Lagos, which was protectorate at this point. It's already like a capital. They were structuring Lagos, making it a commercial. Awolowo saw Lagos, had perceived his prioritized task as making the Yoruba land wealthy through education, but also through commerce, by making Lagos the center of West African commerce. Up in the north, Ahmadu Bello is already talking about the northernization agenda of Nigeria. It's about the north. The language of Ahmadu Bello is about the north. What can we do for the north? So when Ahmadu Bello and all of them are dealing with the British, their argument is about regional interest of the north. Defending the regional interest of the north is about the northern development, otherwise modernization of Nigeria. In the west, is about retaining the colonial legacy, the powers that came with colonization and everything associated with that. Lagos was to be monumentalized. It was to be the center of that whole colonial legacy. When you come to Lagos, you have come to a land where Britain once lived and governed. What was happening in the East, even in Nanda Azikiwe, the East was not important to him. He wanted to be perceived as a champion in Africa. This man that really set Nigeria on a pedestal that would become exemplary to the rest of the African countries, to the rest of the continent. Wanted to be perceived as a unifier of Nigeria. Now, Abachoso Agomar, 60 years after, let's look at the result. It was not Ahmadu Bello. It is not the northern Nigeria of Ahmadu Bello's dream. It is also not the western Nigeria of Awolowo's dream that are lagging behind in economic and political power and influence. It is the Igbo people, the eastern region of Nanda Azikiwe neglect. Because it was never a dream for him, for our region to develop. He was a universalist. But his counterparts were all regionalists. Look at how Nigeria is constituted today. The Igbos are relegated behind. We do not have economic power. We may have money, but collectively we are in a mess. We can't even come together and develop our land, because you need to go through the process that would require approval of a Fulani man sitting, or Yoruba man sitting in Asorok. You have no backing when it comes to federal government voting and elections. You are underrepresented because you are disadvantaged greatly. We are disproportionately disadvantaged. You cannot go to the Senate, go to anywhere. You cannot say, oh, let's put it to election. And that's why when they're saying, oh, we go to election, get your PVC, get this, I'm like, oh, do they really understand? Do they sit and understand how Nigeria is constituted? That a region such as Biafra is perpetually disadvantaged. This is systemic. It is a systematic and institutionalized agenda to impoverish and emasculate the people of Biafra, the eastern Nigeria. But before you blame a Fulani man sitting in that Sarok at the moment, look at the document that precedes or that set precedent for the future, the present that we are in. Our people are always being used as agents of unification to the detriment of our own regional advancement. Now is the time that we correct this and we stop being lured into politics, being used as pawn by our own people who have sold themselves out, who have jeopardized the struggle, who do not prioritize the interest of our people, but are championing their own selfish interests. Although presenting themselves as the Messiah we need, they are not. They are part of the problem. Then what is the situation? Because I said this, as Mazi Iyke said in the beginning, about the new leader of Yohanese. What use is Ohanese as a socio-political organization? What benefits can we objectively point out that this organization has rendered to our people, to our region? There's none. It's all about chaos. This organization and everybody associated with it in the past and now, they have, perhaps inadvertently, perhaps not intentionally, but some clearly intentionally, they have perpetuated the suffering that we are into today. Because for them, they do not operate on the basis of principles. They are not guided by principles. They are guided by expediency. So it means that who gives them money, they follow. Who is their friend, they vote for. They do not ask the question, what would benefit the East? Before this election, some people were rooting, or at least pretend that they were rooting, whether they're in social media, but oftentimes in social media. Some of them were in Yoruba land, Yorubas. Have you heard of them since the result was called? They come online and tell you they are rooting for Igbo man Obi. But what happened today? A Yoruba man has been declared the winner. Every other Yoruba person has gone silent because it's still a win for them. In fact, it's a greater win. It's important that a Yoruba person gets there. Forget about what they say to you on the social media. You should be more concerned about what they do not say, what they say when they are not with you, what they say privately. Forget about the discussions in the open. You should be more concerned about what is hidden. And that's where our people make mistake. Everybody go bizarre. Oh, everybody now is Peter, everybody, even man will be there. Oh, it's our Igbo turn. It's our turn now. In Lagos, everywhere, the altar. That's emotion. That's a sentimentalism that has never led us to anywhere productive other than the mess we are in. And it's time to correct all this. It is time to come together and fight for Biafra. And I wish somebody who is not a IPOB member is listening to me. Because this is why you should get behind the project IPOB is championing. This project to liberate Biafra of self-determination, built fundamentally on democratic principles. It is the time to come together to fight for this. It does not matter how long it takes, but we must fight for it. We must. We must fight and fight for it. If we are doing it, let's do this. If we are not serious, let's all go home. Because in 50 years' time, our kids will be out in the street. still fighting the same cause. And that's why I said from the beginning, and I want to close. I want to finish with the statement I made in the beginning. IPOB is not a political party. Self-determination that we are championing has a strong political element. But constitutive political element is, but we are not a political party. We are not playing opposition politics. Oh, we oppose this person. Oh, we oppose that. Oh, we don't like them. Oh, suddenly somebody from our region is coming to become a president. Ah, there we go. It's time for us to become a president. That's opposition politics. That's not what we are here for. We are on about and only about self-determination. If you play opposition politics, you're never going to get your freedom because it's all about, oh, but we don't like him. We oppose him. We oppose. We spend time playing opposition politics within the context of Nigeria rather than marching forward. And I wouldn't generalize this because we are marching forward, but some of you that don't know where you stand, you dabble into opposition politics because an Igbo person has come out. And so what? Now he has failed, or rather they have stolen his mandate. What can you do? You will spend the entire life playing opposition politics, but you can never achieve freedom until you fight for it. And freedom is what IPOB is fighting for. That is what gets us up every day. That's what makes us to gather here every night, every Wednesday night, to discuss the way forward. And with this, I will invite our colleague, Mazi Iyke, to please continue.
Thank you, Mazi. Thank you, Mazi. And thank you for your talk tonight. You've really succinctly given us very good ideas, and you've made it very, very clear to us to understand why IPOB is different and the master plan of IPOB's self-determination agenda, because that is where most people miss it. They think we're playing politics for Igbo people. No, we are not interested in playing the politics of it favors us. Oh, Nigeria favors us today, so we are Nigerians today. Oh, it doesn't favor us tomorrow. We have to change and find a country for ourselves. No, that is where most people get it wrong. And thank you for encapsulating that and bringing it up, the idea of why we are doing what we are doing, why we are fixated on bringing about the country of our dream, the restoration of our identity, and all whatnots that goes with Biafra. Thank you very much. I also want to thank our host, Mazi Iyke Peters. Thank you for walking the console for us tonight and making our voice heard in over 150 countries of the world tonight. And to every person who's listening to us tonight, I want to use this opportunity to tell you that you are valued. We are talking to you because we need you on board what we are doing. The truth is that the actualization of Biafra cannot be done by only the people that are already here. If that's the case, we will just go ahead and not bother about you. But our leader made us to understand that the restoration of Biafra shall be done by the people. The declaration of Biafra must be done by the people. The people are going to decide. And that is why we are bringing up ideas to you today, talking and making sure you understand the need for you to get on board, the need for you to see that you have failed because you haven't done the right thing, to see why you are still suffering today because you haven't done the right thing. And we are providing you the platform to do the right. We are giving you the roadmap to follow. We are giving you actions to do, like our continental rep just said while he was talking about the call that we are making to the MFAs, Ministry of Foreign Affairs of different countries at this moment. These are roadmaps that we have channeled for you to get involved in the restoration. And if you're doing any of these actions and taking actions, you are contributing immensely to the restoration of Biafra, and that is why we are here. Tonight, I wouldn't waste so much time. I would want to also um, help us understand what my colleague, my comrade talked about the politics that our people are playing. We are not into the politics of opposition. And I want to um, go on this write up. If you are listening to us tonight, you can write this down because this is what we need to do. This is, we need to sensitize our people, IPOB members and non-IPOB members, Biafrans and non-Biafrans that are living in that geographical location called Nigeria today. They said that, listen, it is said that people suffer in penury because they believe there is someone in the system fighting for them when there is none. I will say it again. The masses suffer. The people of a country suffer. The population of a country suffer. A nation suffers because, number one, they believe there is someone in the system fighting for them when there is none. Now, this is called delusion. Delusion. It's just like believing that you are rich. Like you go to church and the pastor preaches and says, I will need you to believe that you are rich. By the power of whatever he talks about, that you are rich. You are rich. And you believe you are rich. You have no job. You have zero finances in your bank account. You have no work whatsoever. And you believe you are rich. Now, why do you believe you are rich? Because someone has made you to believe that you are rich. A week will go past and then you wouldn't have money to even go. If you're like, let's say you have to transport to go to work, you won't even have money to go out to fend for food for the day. Why? Because you have believed wrongly. You have believed wrongly. Now, people suffer because they believe that there is someone in the system who is fighting for them when there is none. I will bring the example of the last election because my comrade talked about it. Now people are saying, oh, we'll go to the law courts. Why do they believe in the law courts? Why do they believe in litigation matters and all of it that Peter B is telling them today? Because they've erroneously believed that there is a law court that is going to do right. But that is not the case. That is why 4 years will go past and there will be no judgment whatsoever in that litigation, because they have played the game. They have wangled their way and swindled the people and have agreed to play that on the people to make them believe that at the law courts, oh, justice will be served. But to no avail, there is no justice. There is no one in the system fighting for the people. Now, I want to relate this back to us. We Biafrans are suffering today. The youths, let me start from the youths. The youths of Nigeria today are suffering because they've been made to believe that, oh, once you graduate from school, you will get a job. Now, how many people graduate from the university? They've halved the population. A job for a citizen of any country should not be based on you graduating from university. There are vocational jobs. There are skill, there are apprentices, there are basic trainings that people do and they get jobs. So it shouldn't be graduating from the university. Now, they've halved the population. Now, the second after that would be, oh, get good grades and you will get a job. They've further taken out 80% of the population of the graduates. And now, from those ones that made the good grade, the next deception will be, do you have anybody to speak for you to get this job? And then you see that you only have 2% of people getting jobs. And this is how they swindle the population. Now, the people believe, oh, some of them believe, oh, I'm not getting job because I didn't go to university. The second batch believes, I'm not getting a job because I didn't make a good grade. Another percentage of them believe, I'm not getting a job because I don't have nobody to help me get this job. And then everybody is okay with what has become of them. Why is that happening? Because they believe the idea that someone is working for them in the system, that someone is going to set things right. But there is no person in that system trying to make it right. Rather, you have people who are constantly tweaking the system to further impoverish and remove power from the people. That is why you can rock up to a bank today and they will tell you, oh, you don't have name. You cannot do this. Oh, I need to do this. Oh, have you done your name? No, you can't do it because you don't have name. Because they are constantly finding ways to take your power away from you. And you believe, oh, the senators are gonna debate about it. How, when in the last 5 years, have you heard the senators discussing anything that pertains to the man on the street? Never. But you readily hear them talking about increasing the house allowance, the furniture allowance, or increasing the retinue of entourage they have, and all of that. There is no one for you. There is basically no one in the system that is standing up for you. Now I relate this to our Biafran struggle. The reason why most people are still lackadaisical about this is because they have not realized that if we do not take this opportunity that has been provided to us by Mazi Iyke, by IPOB, if we do not grab it by both hands, if we do not run with this baton that's been given to us, the baton has been given to us, we need to run as fast as we can with this in order to make and create a lasting change. If we do not do that, then we are destroyed. Why are we destroyed? Because most people, you talk to them about Biafra, they'll tell you, oh, we are working on it. Oh, it will sort itself out. Oh, it it will happen. It will happen. But what are you doing to make it happen? Because there is no person in the system who is interested in it if it doesn't favor them. We had a meeting with a member of parliament a few weeks ago. Do you know the question they asked us? Do you have Biafrans in the Nigerian government? That's a challenging question. What are they saying about the liberation of your people? Their family, the extended families are getting the nod. You can't tell me that we don't have people that are in the parliament from Imo State. They see people getting killed every day, abduction happening. They know the menace happening in their state. Most of them cannot even go back home. But do they say anything? And the people believe, oh, these people are there for us. Oh, it's their constituency. They're gonna say something about the killings in the detention, the illegal detention, the torture, and the arrest, abductions of people in this neighborhood. They're going to say something about it. And then at the end of the day, they do not bite an eyelid. They say nothing about it. And this is what we are talking about. Because in this struggle, we need to realize and wake up that there is no one, absolutely no one, pulling the strings for us. We have to do it ourselves. There is no one trying to correct the anomaly. There is no one trying to get people to right the wrongs that's been done to us Biafran. We have to do it ourselves. We have to do it ourselves because there is no person in government, in high offices. We have people that are well known. We have writers. I don't want to name names. We have people that are high placed in international organizations that could say one word, one tweet about the killing of Biafrans, about the extrajudicial killings happening in their motherland, that will put the world on notice. But what do? They will rather tweet about an American. They will rather tweet about a UK. They will rather tweet about whatever that makes no meaning to the corporate existence of their people than say something. So, why I'm saying this today is I watched a video yesterday of the Igbo people that were pushed out of the rescue whatever. Uh, I don't know if it's a plane or bus that was taken to Sudan to rescue Nigerians there, and they were pushed out of it for being Igbos. And the person that was making that video, he said he's calling people that are good, and he named some names I will not name on Radio Biafra because they are not qualified to be named here on Radio Biafra. And I said, this is the bane of our people. They continue to be stupid. Even when they are in pain, they still act in stupidity. And you are naming the people that are your problem to come and help you. You are calling them and praising them to come and help you. The people that have put you in that suffering, you are suffering today. So the moment that each and every one of us realize and wake up from believing, from thinking that there is a people, there is someone in the system trying to help us, trying to save us from the impending danger, to wake up and realize that there is no one in the system, to start believing right because we have believed wrong for a long time. That is why people still believe in PVC. That is why people still believe that the returning officer will call out the right numbers. That is why people still believe that whoever is voting, that the election wouldn't be rigged, that is not pre-planned. That is that the people coming out to contest have not even had an indoor meeting and decided what they are going to do with the masses. The moment our people realize that it is all charade, that all of this is just a ruse to hoodwink and make them believe that there is someone trying to help them. P.O.B. went about campaigning how he's going to change Nigeria and raising hope and making people believe that. That is the same thing Buhari did, and people believed. It is the same mantra. The moment the people realize that this is not the case is that there is no one in the system. Why do we in the Western world see progress? Because there are people in the system to checkmate all of this. There is a system to checkmate people from going absolutely bonkers. Believe and know that there is no one in the system. to help you. And with this, I want to bring to the notice and to the knowledge of our people today why we say there is no one in the system. Today, a few days ago, it was quoted the nations of Africa and who is controlling the mineral resources in that country, in in those countries in Africa. I wouldn't go into any of the other countries. I would just go to the country that we call Nigeria today. And in Nigeria, all of the mineral resources, I'm talking about the oil and the gas, the natural resources. Now, Nigeria is said to be a country, but you have external bodies coming to take the wealth of the country. It's just like you live in a house and someone is taking all of the property in your house every day. You keep buying new property, someone keeps collecting it. Or you have a farm, he waits for you to plant, and then during harvest, he comes around and harvests the crop and goes away to his own family to feed his family. I will tell you the companies that control the wealth. All of the wealth, the natural resources in Nigeria. Number one, land, oil, and gas. Land, oil, and gas is a Nigerian focused upstream oil and natural gas exploration and production company listed on the IAM in London. Now, the headquarters is in Aberdeen, Scotland. This company was founded in 2009 and they are just interested in exploration and production of oil. 2009. When did we discover oil in Nigeria? For how many years? Airland was founded in 2009. 2009. Ask yourself, why would a company found in 2009 be the company taking care of oil exploration and production? This company is in Scotland. All of the key people in this company are not Nigerian. No Nigerian in it. Not, that's number one. Number two company is called Leak Oil. Leak Oil. This one is focused on African oil exploration and production with interest in Nigeria and offshore Namibia. The company was founded in 2010. The other one was 2009. This one is 2010, 2010. So what does this tell you? Different governments Whoever is there negotiates with the company who's going to come and suck the oil and give them their money. 2010, who is the founder? Olalekan Akinyami. Olalekan Akinyami. He's the owner of Leak Oil. You can look all of these up and read it for yourself. And read it for yourself. Now, if an individual can have a company that is exploring oil production, what stops the country from having their own company to do this? And it goes back to what we say: cronyism, nepotism, and exploitation. Number 3, Shell PLC. Shell PLC is a British multinational oil and gas company with the headquarters in London. In London. Now, this one we know for years. They've been the people taking this oil and doing what they want with it. Shell. You can Google Shell BP, Shell PLC, and see. So you would know the people who are impoverishing you. The last one is Seplat Petroleum Development Company. Seplat Petroleum Development Company. Seplat was formed in 2009. 2009. And they are just to pursue upstream oil and gas opportunities in Nigeria. In Nigeria. So you can see the names of the people who are doing this, taking the wealth of millions of people, impoverishing all of them. And why is this possible? Because the people believe that there is a system to take care of them, not knowing that the system is there to impoverish them, take away their power, take away their liberties, take away any opportunity for growth, so that they will be lacking in the ability for self-help, so that the population will be dependent on them. That brings manipulation, makes manipulation an easy task for the government. Now, there are 4 companies. One company has been there since 1907. 1907. That's when Shell has been there doing this. Now, 20 cut away the wealth, and the people they control, they give them a little. Keep the secret going on for years. Now another government is entering. Maybe there will be some negotiations happening. Maybe another person will be forming their own business, their own oil company to take over from us. And then if we don't realize our Biafra in the next 5-10 years, people will be reading, oh, the person handling oil in Nigeria now was established in 2016, because that's when they had the money to topple the ones. So it is buying and selling, and you call yourself a member of that nation, of that business, without being a shareholder in the business. You might not understand that. Let me explain it further for you. If you are a Nigerian today, it doesn't give you any right to any loan in any bank, in any financial company. If you are a Nigerian, it doesn't give you an access to any hospital for treatment without paying first. If you are a Nigerian, it doesn't give you any access to any help, be it financial or medical or psychological or educational help. You cannot go into any school in Nigeria and say, oh, yeah, I'm a Nigerian. I won't have to pay school fees because I'm a Nigerian. It does not happen because you are not a part of the business. You are not a shareholder in that business. Let me give you the example of what it means to be a shareholder in the nation by the presenting of a passport of any advanced Western society. You have the right to medical, you have the right to free education, you have the right to loans and finances, you have the right to help. And this is what makes you know that you are a stakeholder. So you are just a make believe calling yourself a Nigerian. You are not even a Nigerian. We know who the real Nigerians are. You can see that when they go on pilgrimage. You can see that when they go to visa offices. You can see that when they go to the consul for any consular services. We know who Nigerians are. So if you still, after this lecture tonight, and you believe that you want to keep deceiving yourself that you are a Nigerian, Nigeria will happen to you, and then you will realize that, oh, I'm not a part of this country. I believe wrongly. It's just like you are not an American. You have friends or even cousins or even brothers that are Americans, and you are going on a tour with your brothers and all of you got kidnapped by pirates, there is no amount of you claiming American that will make America to come and rescue you. They will only come for your blood brother and leave you there because you are not an American. You can claim it forever and ever, but you are not an American. The same way it applies to you. You are not a Nigerian. If you are a Biafran. So do not expect help. Do not expect services to you because you cannot be. You are just claiming, and they laugh and recognize your ignorance and they love it when you are ignorant, claiming to be Nigerian. If you do not remember anything I've said tonight, just remember that I am suffering today because I believed wrongly that there is someone in the system who is fighting to me, not knowing that there is no one in the system fighting for me. And the moment you realize, you come to the realization of this fact, it will help you to wake up, to buckle up, to rejig the system and make the system work for you. And that can only happen in a free Biafra. Thank you, Mazi, for giving me the opportunity. I'll hand over to you right now. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mazi. Oh, well spoken. It's good that we really drawing our people's drawing attention to what I think should constitute the basis, which is assuming self responsibility and stop pointing a finger, trying to find a solution, and not running round and round in confusion, because that does not lead us to nowhere. It's about fixing the problem, not perpetuating it. This starts obviously, as you said, Maz, from point of self-consciousness, point of social consciousness, understand how these things work, and stand on a principled position to tackle the problems perceived. That's the way forward. And thank you for that wonderful contribution as we move forward. And I would like to invite Maz Maz Silas, please. If you are up there, please take the microphone, Maz.
Thank you, Mazi. Thank you so much. I applaud your efforts, those who spoke before me. I would like to thank our audience for lending us their ears all these weeks and years that we have started this broadcast. I pray that we all are well and sound wherever we are. Especially, I pray for our leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and all IPOB and other freedom fighters around the world, especially those of them that are locked up in the Nigerian detention camps. We think of you guys. We pray that you will come out there well and healthy. Before I go on to the topic I want to look at, I want to reinforce what Mazi Former said. The tweeting program we have, the Twitter that we want to use as our way of increasing awareness of what we're doing is very, very important. It is important in the sense that it is the way of us telling our story to the most influential media people, governments, and people of well-known influential capacity of the world. Remember Uju, Professor Uju Anya versus Jeff Bezos. It is through Twitter that what Uju was saying became the news of the world. And why do we want to make it the news of the world? Why do we want to do it by ourselves? We are doing this because the mainstream media are not so much concerned. They may not even be concerned at all about what Biafrans are going through. Otherwise, where are the voices of the CNN, the Fox News, the MBS, whatever, BBC, about the plight of Biafra, about the struggle we are waging? So far, very, very, very peaceful. We are speaking, we are talking, we march on the street, they kill us. Even these media houses, none of them have shown interest. And that tells you where we are. That is why we must use Twitter. That is where all of them converge. And if we do send a simple message according to the instructions given to us, surely people will see it and we will keep the light on and burning. Also, Mazi Iyke, in his speech, mentioned the quest for freedom. And I want to reinforce, freedom is the foundation upon which every structure in human society is built. It is upon freedom that you construct a constitution. It is upon freedom that you can build on land. It is upon freedom that you can conduct an election. That is why they say free and fair. If it is not free, it cannot be fair. If you don't allow me to vote, my voice is not part of it. You might have chosen a wrong person. If my vote didn't count, it is not fair. It is not even free. That is why freedom is the foundation of everything we are doing. And freedom is at the center of IPOB agitation.
nwaanyị amambara sị gị binye eze nwaanyị osimiri nji aba sị gị binye eze nwaanyị ala Igbo niile asị gị.
We want to be free from the stupidity, nepotism, corruption, and what have you of Nigeria. We want to be free from their shenanigans, from their lies that there is no seaport, no possibility of having a seaport in the southeast. It's a lie. That was the area the massive slave trade took place 500-600 years ago. And they didn't build any structure to do it, any outstanding structure. So freedom is the center point of IPOB agitation. We want to be absolutely free and restore the sovereign nation of Biafra so that we can go back and start building. Now, we will continue and even double up, because only us will save us from this calamity called Nigeria. A country, wrongly set up by the British, by the British for their own interest, for their own prosperity, is what they called Nigeria. And they want all of us to follow and believe in calling Nigeria a country. Of course, it is not. all the fundamentals, all the fundamental issues or elements that form a country isn't there. Like I said before, freedom is not the fundamental characteristics of Nigeria. And that is why nothing has been working. And if you are not free, if you are caged, you are limited, of course. You can't even do as much work as you want to do, practically. So, because of that, we are clinging very strongly to our vision to liberate Biafra from Nigeria. I feel it's important to mention that. Unfortunately, many of our people are still in denial. They are still in denial of these facts. Um, they don't understand that you have to suffer. That this freedom that we're talking about, you have to pay for it. It doesn't come easily. It is the costliest. It is the costliest item in the world. Freedom. It's not a tangible object, but it is the costliest article in the world. Quote me or go and check. If you ask Ukraine, they will tell you they are fighting for their freedom under the pretext of whatever they are fighting. But you can see how much it's costing. It will not come easy. It will come when we are committed. We have to commit everything we have. We have to commit everything we have, our existence, our energy, and whatever we have in order to succeed. So they say that knowledge is power, and that not making use of what we know, not making use of the facts we have, not making use of the information or knowledge is equally being ignorant. I repeat, not making use of what you know, not making use of the facts that you have, not making use of the information you have also, not making use of the knowledge that you have is equally ignorant. In other words, what you said you know, you don't know if you're not using it. If you know that you can turn sand, silicon into gold, and you standing on a lot of sand, and you know how to do it, and you haven't done it, and you don't want to do it, you don't know it. It's as simple as that. So, if that is the case, we all know that Nigeria was wrongly coupled together, and that since the fraudulent amalgamation of Nigeria, since the fake independence we have, since the continual exploitation of Nigeria by the UK and Europeans, as mentioned by Mazi Iyke, that Nigeria and its regions have been in free fall when compared to other nations of its equivalents. For example, food production in Nigeria currently has declined to a very low critical levels when compared to what food production used to be in the 60s and the 70s. There's a lot of hunger, and when any item is scarce, the cost goes up. Simple economics. So upon the inflationary practices introduced in the Nigerian financial system by the federal government, food production is very low. What we are saying will be an advantage to Biafrans who are listening. Because if you know you put what you know in practice, then you're no longer ignorant. And knowledge is power. If you know that food production is going to be low and you have a little block of land that you can farm, you will go and put some crops on now, because tomorrow Nigeria is worsening day by day, second by second. So that is one thing that is clear. Two, unemployment is over 40%. I was listening to one of the Nigerian analysts. By the federal government records in their Bureau of Statistics, unemployment is over 40%. And that number is a very conservative number by the federal government, the Nigerian federal government. That figure will be much higher than 40%, considering the fact that the Nigerian government has never been sincere for once. They are liars, Mazi used to say it. And when he said it initially, people were doubting it. They are liars, no single truth. They don't have any single truth in their mouth. So when they say unemployment is 40%, you're looking at mostly those who are not Fulanis, because those people do not look for jobs. They are overemployed. When I mean overemployed, those of them who are not even qualified to do certain jobs are given the jobs. The entire military of Nigeria is filled up by them, whether they know what they're doing or not. The entire customs, foreign services, they have taken over even more than they can handle. So that figure is mostly what you can check or find in other parts of Nigeria. And the implications of absence of jobs are deeply severe. The implications are significant and cause deaths that we see in the land. If you listen carefully in your community back at home or elsewhere in Nigeria, you will see the number of people dying are more than we have seen in ages. That is because of a number of factors, including absence of job and food. And those implications are not restricted to hunger. Most young people do not listen to their parents and senior relatives due to the fact that their relatives are unable to provide food, sustain them in school, sustain them in business, or help them to start up a business, or even for their simple upkeeps, as our tradition is. And against our values and norms, prostitution has skyrocketed. And this is a privileged information I'm giving. HIV and STD issues have quietly risen to endemic levels. And what does this mean to a population? It means that more people will die, and those who are living will be sick, and sick people may not be able to do work. They won't be active. They become a problem for the community or communities where they are. And this is what is happening now. The few young people who have kept to our values and who have kept out of the streets are severely frustrated. They are malnourished, depressed, and are thoroughly sick of Nigeria. The reason for the poor management of Nigeria as a country was because of the foundational characteristics of Nigeria. As I mentioned before, the freedom is not there. Mediocrity was placed in front of meritocracy, corruption, nepotism, as mentioned earlier by my earlier colleagues. These are the foundation of Nigeria. And as such, it will not work. A country that have presided over 60 years of oil exploitation. Nigeria used to be the ninth oil exporter of the world. Where is the money? The Fulanis have taken it and banked it in their bank accounts and used it in their international wars, Fulani wars around West Africa and Central Africa. They are happy that Mazi Iyke is not free to speak, and part of his continual detention is because of they want to stop people hearing that they are the ones, swindling the money from the Nigerian purse. Nigeria, a non-nation parading itself as a nation, where the Fulani ethnic group claims and manages Nigeria as their father's estate, for themselves and for their British slave masters. The absence of jobs alone equally leads to mass immigration. People will leave, indigents will leave their ancestral homes and travel to other parts to seek for job. That is why you see large numbers of Biafrans around Lagos, because that's where they can even establish business. They are not employed. Most of them are not employed by the government. They are there on themselves, trading. And when they make money, by carefully saving money, they will seek to buy a place, because the last concluded election even revealed that some Yoruba landlords had it upon themselves to discriminate against Igbos, not to lease their properties to them. So it did a push, and when they then save money, approach the council, buy land, build, the council will turn around and say, those buildings, those lands sold to you guys are wrongly sold. Those buildings are built on where they should not be built, and the buildings will be knocked down. How many times would this happen to anyone before, or any group of people, before they wake up and turn around and go back to their land? This is the question. And this is why I always underline that those of us in IPOB family have crossed the intersection of confusion of where do we go. There's no need to procrastinate. There's no need to postpone the doomsday. It will be hard. It will be hurtful. But at the end of the day, if we secure and restore Biafra fully, all of us, nobody in the Biafran land will see the truth. Land ownership is sacred. in our place the way it is. People do not go sell the land and turn around and start telling you stories. People will look at you as their brothers. There will be greater homogeneity and there will be greater unity in terms of the vision. There will be greater urge for us to build a nation for our children. But if you have built in Lagos, who are you building for? As beautiful, as nice as your house might architecturally look, those who believe you are not part of them do not want you and your house. And they derive plenty of joy in knocking down the house you have sweated for probably 40 years to build, to save the money and build. They derive that joy. And this is why our resolve to leave Nigeria has always been strengthened. So when you consider the absence of jobs in the context of their insecurity, mostly orchestrated by some elements in the federal government of Nigeria through Boko Haram, Ibubag, headsmen, unknown gunmen, rogue security services. When I mean rogue the security services, I mean the police, the army, the DSS, the SSS, whatever they call themselves. They are rogue security services that extraordinarily, extrajudicially kill people in broad daylight, or the worst case, on the other hand, they, with the security services that do not value the lives of its citizens, do not respond to emergencies. Sometimes they do, but very untimely when the incident, when their response will not make any difference to the incident. So with security services or outfits that only escort politicians, rich men and women, and their families and their friends, what hope has a common man? Are these issues that I have highlighted hard to be seen by people? They're not hard to be seen, not at all. For over 62 years, Nigeria is still singing the same kindergarten song, bitterly divided, and only finds unity when it comes to marginalizing, mistreating, and killing Biafrans. That's the only time Nigerians find unity. Other Nigerians, anyway. So, a lot of Biafrans, a lot of Biafran youths in many are in many Nigerian detention camps for only for acclaiming Biafra, only for peaceful agitation for the restoration of Biafra. They are only agitating peacefully for Biafra to be restored. That's why they are in detention. Many thousands of Biafran agitators have been killed in a nation that claims to be democratic, in a nation that signed some, articles of faith with the African Union, with the UN and all that. Worst still, our leader Mazi Iyke was kidnapped in Kenya by Kenyan security operatives working for the Nigerian and the British government. They kidnapped him, they tortured him, they nearly killed him, and eventually, extraordinarily, ordinarily brought him back to Nigeria without going through the court processes. For almost 2 years now, Nigerian government have detained Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in the DSS maximum prison against the decisions of multiple high courts and appeal courts. Nigeria is not a conducive country for Biafrans. When I look at all this, this is what we conclude. Nigeria is not a conducive country for Biafrans because Biafrans, in our innate, in our inherent nature, we don't like injustice. We are outspoken. We are industrious. And if Nigerian environment does not like us, what are we doing there? Why do we have to go? I said this during my last broadcast. Why do we have to stay back to work for those who do not like us? Why are we wasting time? How many times are we going to be used as a scapegoat? Why? So there's no doubt that the best option for Biafrans is to opt out of Nigeria. Just go, get out of Nigeria. And when we do, the earlier we do, we begin the work of building Biafra from scratch. Biafra exit from Nigeria will be beneficial for all other component regions in Nigeria. Because why? We can go and do our thing. They will not see us and they will not feel jealous. And when we go on our own, those who like Nigeria so much can stay there and enjoy it. And any other person who wants to travel there can visit there and smell their stinkiness. Yeah. I mean, countries of the world, the issue of drainage, building a drainage within a residential settlement is not a new thing. If you don't know it, you don't need to reinvent the wheel. You copy it. I'm pretty sure and I believe that if we succeed as the Almighty God have willed, we will have a nation that will be worthy of emulation within the West African region. And in conclusion, I thank our listeners again. I employ all Biafrans to come and join IPOB. Join this force of truth, this force that wants to restore Biafra, so that in no distant time we will restore our values, we will have carved that area for our future generation, and Biafrans will live the life that they have been destined to by Chukwu Kiabiama. Thank you very much for listening. I'll hand over to Mazi Iyke. Thank you.
Thank you, Mazi. It's wonderful again. Thank you so much for that wonderful contribution and reminding our people. As always, this comes up as some people say it as an important argument to really present. What about my investment in this place? What about my kids and my wife is from this part of the world? Well, we all live everywhere in the world. We got kids, we got investment. And so what? And so what? So you're not going to be free just because you married somebody from somewhere other than where you come from. Then why you spend your money investing? You know, that logic doesn't hold any water. Because even those that persecute you, the politicians that steal your right, your mandate, your dividend, your those that emasculate you, they are busy investing in any part of the world. They have investments all around the world, and yet they are not citizens of the world. So I don't know why we should continue to really entertain such line of thought. This is quite self-defeating. Fight for Biafra, and until Biafra is restored, until and unless Biafra is restored, the investment in any part of the world, including Nigeria, is not secure. So I tell you what, if anything happens to you anywhere, Nigeria will not come for you. But if you have a country, so at the moment we do now, you have a country, your country will come for you, it will come to protect you, they'll fight for you. Fight for a country where you will have a value, a country that your kids, generation behind, after us, will be proud of. Fight for that country, and everything will fall into place. But if you continue to remain in Nigeria, it is a hell. That's why we are fighting. Go ask those that live in Lagos currently, those that have markets and businesses in Lagos. There's no security, there's no assurance as regards to protecting your investments and everything. Go and ask also those that their parents are from Igbo land, but their father is from Yoruba or something like that. A kind of mix. Ask them as well. There is discrimination in the system. It's a systemic problem. And this is why we are fighting. So thank you, Mazi, for touching that aspect of fear that our people have. We must conquer and we must fight for Biafra. I guess what we've highlighted tonight is the fact that we must engage in the work for our freedom, for our salvation, with the seriousness it deserves, the level of consistency it deserves. It's not what you do, let others do, and sometimes say, how far all this Biafra thing, when is this going to happen? When is it happening? Oh, this Biafra thing, no, it's not. That's not how we do it. It is something everybody must intentionally commit to, engage in the fight to liberate ourselves. And then that's only when it's going to be effective. As Uche touched also at the beginning, making a reference to our meeting here with a federal MP last week, where he asked us, what about political representatives from your land? Do you have in the government of Nigeria people from Biafra that are representing your people? And what do they say? When they ask you this kind of question, yeah, it's not an easy answer. Because expectation, and I emphasize that expectation, ideal thing versus reality. Ideal thing is if you have a political representation, you are halfway through because your people in the government can gather and then push your agenda, whether it's self-determination, whatever that is. They can collaborate with you. They can champion your interest. Now, we had to sit up there and explain to this PM that, yeah, we do, but we do not. And that's complex because then you have to explain how you do, but you don't. You have to explain how they're there for their own self-interest and how they do not care what we're doing. Now, if your own people that are representing you, they count on your vote each time there's an election, and stupidly, some of us will still go back and vote for them. If they cannot represent us and fight for our interests, at least collectively, how do you expect the international world, international community to rise? How do you expect the government of Australia to start talking about Biafra when our leaders are talking about Nigeria? In fact, they are campaigning, they want to be president of Nigeria. And some of you are just being carried away. That whole reading of mess. So it's time we come back to a place of consciousness, place of engaging in critical thinking, looking for exploring ways to improve this cause that we are championing and contributing actively, everybody, to its realization. I thank all my colleagues tonight. I think that's all of us tonight have spoken, and I thank all my colleagues. They've made a wonderful contribution. I would like to thank Mazi Iyke for giving us once again this opportunity. And I thank you wherever you're joining us and at whatever time you tuned in tonight. Join us next time, next week, Wednesday, and we'll be here same time. And thank you for joining us. Going Iyke. Thank you, everybody. Mazi, I'll hand over to you.
All right, thank you very much for your program. It was very interesting, and I'm very happy that you guys can come up every Wednesday to let the world listen to us, because that's the way we say it. And when we come in, we say what we want to say, and that what we want to say is that Biafra is here to stay. All right, from here now, this Ike Peters, I say goodbye. See you again tomorrow, same time. Mazi Iyke is next.
In Biafra lies our religion, the last hope we have is in Biafran restoration. I believe, listen to Radio Biafra, it's where we worship as a Chukotike Abiyama. Let your kingdom come. Listen to Radio Biafra, it's where we worship. Listen to Radio Biafra, it's where we worship.
ọnụ kọrọ ogere lacha Chukwu okike abịama onye jiri mmiri siri ike kpọọ aja were aja siri ike kpọọ mmadụ. Asị m na taata bụ ụbọchị eke n'ala Igbo. Asị m na eke ga-eketara Nnamdị Kanụ ndụ, eke ga-eketara ya nwere onwe, oke ga-eketara ya ndụ, oke ga-eketara ya Biafra, oke ga-eketara ya nwere onwe, oke ga-ekegburu ya ndị iro, kegburu ya ajọ mmadụ na ajọ mmụọ. Asị m na mbọsị ọ ga-apụta ekwensu ga-anọ n'ụra, ndị ilo ya ga-anọ n'ụra. Ọ kwara ekwe oshi. Asịrị gịnị bụ ekwensu? Asị m na mbọsị ọ ga-apụta ya bụ ndị iro ga-anọ n'ụra. Ọha bụ ndị ọha ma bụ ekwensu. Asị m na ha ncha ga-anọ n'ụra. Na Nnamdị Kanụ ga-apụta n'ike na ebube. Nnamdị Kanụ ga-apụta n'ike na ebube. Asị m na ọnụ kwụrụ njọ n'isi a ga-atụgharịkwọ mma. Asị m obiara igbu Nnamdị Kanụ gbuo onwe ya. Onye si na Nnamdị Kanụ agaghị adị ndụ, onye a ga-eji anasịrị mmiri. Onye si na Nnamdị Kanụ agaghị apụta, onye a ga-eji anasịrị mmiri. Ọnụ niile kọrọ ogiri ọnụ ga-akọrọ ogiri lacha. Osisi abụla oturu ga-emeche wee kwele. Onye si na Nnamdị Kanụ agaghị apụta, asị m na ọnụ ahụ iji wee kwuo ya dịka ejikwa ya wee kwugharịa mma n'isi ya. Asị m na ebe onye ahụ na-atụ maazị Nnamdị Kanụ aka, asị m aka gị ga-akpọnwụ. Osisi ahụ fụrụ Nnamdị Kanụ wee tọọ nkwe, asị m ikuku futuo gị. Anya ọbụla fụrụ Nnamdị Kanụ kwawa akwa alịla, asị m alịla akọrọ ya n'anya. Onye fụrụ Nnamdị Kanụ cheta ihe gburu nwa ya, ihe gburu nwa ya gbuo ya, maka na ọ bụrụ ya gburu nwa gị. Chukwu okike abịama, asị m na mbelede nyiri dike belede ka o ji amawa dike. Asị m na okirikiri ka a na-agba ukwu ose, ọ dadị ukwu ose enu. N'okirikiri ka ndị iro ga-agba Nnamdị Kanụ mana ha ama mkpata ya aka. Ọ sị na nkirikiri ka ọ na-ekiri odido jiri odido enyi ozu. N'ọkwanụ nkirikiri ka ndị iro ga na-ekiri ya mana ha ama afụ ya anya. Asị m na eje anaba isi ije. Asị na Nnamdị Kanụ ga-eje na ọ ga-ana. Asị m na inye anaghị eri ọba maka na inye na ọba bụ nwanne. Inye agaghị eri Nnamdị Kanụ maka na ọ bụ nwa.
asị na Nnamdị Kanụ ga-adị ka echi na echi anaghị agwụ agwụ maka na ije ejere bụ ije mmiri ọ bụla eje nkụ asị na ya bụ ije ga-abụ ije mmeri asị m na ọ ga-anata n'udo asị m na ọ ga-abata sirili welere asị m na unu ga-aga kpọnatara anyị Nnamdị Kanụ asị m unu ga-akpọnatara anyị Nnamdị Kanụ ga-akpọnatara anyị Nnamdị Kanụ ga tụnye ugo ka nye ya mmeri ka nye ya mmeri ka nye ya mmeri tụnye ugo n'elu ugo nye ike n'elu ike nye ya ndụ n'elu ndụ ọkwanụ ndụ ka o ji efu na-efufe unu nye Nnamdị Kanụ ndụ onwe ike wee kwụrụ jinjin onwe ike wee kwụrụ wee fuo n'ofufe a sị na ya kara ka anaghị eri nwa ngwụrọ ihe mere ha ji jide Nnamdị Kanụ bụ ka nwee ike wee megide ndị Igbo ka nwee ike megide ụmụ Biafra ka nwee ike wee kwuchi anyị ọnụ ka ha nwere ike wee kachi anyị ọnụ ka anyị ghara ikwu okwu ọzọ mana ama m na dododo Chukwu okike abịa ma ndị nwa na ndị nwe mmiri ndị nwe ikuku ndị nwe anyanwụ mmụọ nna nna anyị ochie mmụọ niile nwụrụ anwụ ka anyị dị ndụ mmụọ niile ma ọ kwụfụrụ ọbara ha n'ike maka ihi Biafra asị m unu binyenu asị m unu dododo ọkwa na unu bụ ihe nwe ike a ọkwa na unu ga-eji ọgụ mmụọ ọkwa na unu ga-aga bụori ya ọkwa na unu ga-aga napụta ya maka na ihe ọ tinyere unu n'aka anaghị ele ule asị m dododo igiriga ọgụ mmụọ eze nwaanyị niile nọ n'ala Igbo mmụọ niile nọ n'ala Igbo asị m unu binye maka na onwe onye nọ n'ụwa na-anaghị aṅụ mmiri onwe onye nọ n'ụwa na-anaghị eri nnu nnu bụ ihe ụtọ si na mmiri wee pụta onye ọbụla na-eri ihe na-eri ihe dị na mmiri onye na-asa arụ ji mmiri asa arụ onye ọbụla na-eme ihe ọbụla ọ na-eme ji mmiri eme ya asị m ihe ọbụla mmadụ na-eme n'ụwa mmiri ọ na-ebube ụzọ asị m onye ọbụla kpọrọ mmiri asị na mmiri a ga-agbagbu ya asị m onye ọbụla fụrụ mmiri n'anya ga-afụ Nnamdị Kanụ n'anya onye ọbụla fụrụ mmiri n'anya ga-afụ Nnamdị Kanụ n'anya onye ọbụla mmiri na-awụsa n'arụ ga-afụ Nnamdị Kanụ n'anya onye ọbụla mmiri na-emesa n'arụ ga-afụ Nnamdị Kanụ n'anya onye na-aṅụ mmiri na-eli nnu asị m na ọnụ anyị ji wee lie nnu wee ṅụọ mmiri ị ga-eji akwa okwu ọma n'isi Nnamdị Kanụ n'aha Chukwu okike abịa ama.
My sister, good morning. Oh, good morning. See, they have demolished my house. I was in the hospital. They just told me that they have started demolishing our house. They are demolishing the whole street. Oh, they just come and started demolishing. They are demolishing everywhere. They are demolishing. Oh, Jesus. Jesus, I could not bring out my property. I could not bring out my documents. They are demolishing everywhere. They are demolishing everywhere. Oh, the whole building, the whole house, they are demolishing. Oh, Rossville at Ajawo Estate. Rossville at Ajawo Estate. Oh, they are demolishing everywhere. Rossville Street at Ajawo Estate. See them when they came with two caterpillars. See them. Demolition everywhere. I could not bring out anything from my house. Oh, I could not bring anything out. Oh. They came with courage. They came with courage. Demolition everywhere. Demolition.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, great Biafrans and lovers of freedom. This is Radio Biafra House of Service coming to you through Radio Biafra London. My name remains Mazi Jonathan Chinedu from Olo province of Biafra land. And we are here live and direct. Today is the first day of May 2023. Tata Bobo Chiurie. I am no one kise Tata. Therefore, I welcome each and every one of you to welcome your friends and well-wishers, even your enemies, onto this hallowed platform, where we preach the gospel of liberation, the gospel of freedom, as initiated by Mazi Iyke Kanụ, who is the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, but currently and illegally being detained in the Nigeria secret police dungeon, that zoo, that jungle, that banana republic that respects not even her own law. Therefore, we must continue. I once again welcome each and every one of you to today's edition of Radio Biafra House of Service. Atabobo Chiuri, the 1st of May. Do not forget that we are in a very serious campaign, worldwide phone call and a Twitter campaign, which we are calling international bodies. Please, if the lines are opened before you call, please make sure before you call here, this studio, you have to tell me that you have called or you have tweeted several. It is not something once. As much as you could, we continue. It's a battle. Mazi Iyke told our enemies that we are starting a type of freedom fighting that is never seen anywhere. You know, we are unique people. We do our own thing in our uniqueness because we have initiative. That is why Britain don't want Biafra to be restored. Because in our uniqueness, because we have initiative. That is why Britain don't want Biafra to be restored. Because they
Union Africa. Akika onene bobo. Idemeli da boke yo sere. Idemeli da boke yo sere. Idemeli da boke yo sere. Nandikanwe mesere, nandikanwe mesere, nandikanwe mesere, nandikanwe mesere. Biafra mesere, idemeli da banyo wajele, idemeli da bekomo wasu, idemeli da banyo wajele. Akika onene ko, idemeli da boke yo sere, idemeli da boke yo sere, idemeli da boke yo sere.
Greetings to our listeners. We welcome to live broadcast from Radio Biafra USA and through another station, Radio Biafra London, directed by our leader, His Excellency Mazi Iyke. and IPOB Community Radio. You're hearing a voice. Your host is Mazi Iyke. Today is May 3, 2023. At the top of the hour, Ndengwa will be with us. Ndengwa, Ndewono. So you today. Tomorrow will be Thursday, and Mazi Lekima will be with us. And I've been waiting to happen. So that's the way it is. Today we have to look at ourselves. It is very easy for us to be talking in general. Every day we come here, we talk. The basic foundation of our existence is missing. And when we bring this up is to let us, every one of us, sanitize our mind. Every one of us. And when we talk about killing and killing and killing and killing, patricide, genocide, you name it, killing, die. If you keep dying, nobody will live. Not when you're self-destruct, not when you're killing yourself, not when you don't put any value in your life. Is it as a selfish mood or what? We don't know. From little things, like when I say little things that matter, there are little things that take place. We take a cue from that, to expatiate in a broader term if it has an effect in the way we do things. And these things hold us back. We have to know the problem in order to solve it. We cannot continue to ignore ourselves. We ignore ourselves because we don't listen to the other person. We are self-centered. And it has spread to every part of our lives. But we have not recognized it. We have not paid a particular attention to it. To the point that that same thing drags us down. That same thing affects the way we relate to another. That same thing affects the way we consider issues. That same thing affects the way we absorb what happens to us and then react. I think we have to go to the basic foundation. It is very, very important, and we must consider that.